trade account is up to $119,318.88. Today's video, I'm going to break down each of my accounts, the totals within them, the trades that I've made within those accounts, and the dividends that I've earned. If this is your first time here, my name is Darren, and this is the Crazy Canuck Investor. I'm an average everyday Canadian just like you who wants to help other people get started investing in the stock market. So let's break down my different accounts. My Wealthsimple Trade cash account is holding $38,574.77 and currently pays me 4.5% interest daily. A registered education savings plan for both of my kids, and within that account there's $52,372.63, and that's broken up between our two kids. And we make regular investments in that account in order to take advantage of the federal grants. In my RRSP, I currently hold a Canadian balance of $10,994.63, and I hold a US balance of $2,718.56. In my tax-free savings account, I hold $13,080.50 Canadian. So first we'll look at the performance of each account, and then in the latter part of the video, I'll go over the dividends that I've made. So in my RRSP over the last day, we're up $28.53. Over the week, we're up $74.11. And over the month, we're up $163.70. Over the last 3 months, we're down $336.80. So in my RRSP, I now have some Canadian funds and some US funds. I made those changes over the last couple of weeks, and I'll talk about those in a little bit. For my US holdings within my RRSP, for the day, we're up $22.67. For the week, we're down $77.10. And these holdings are relatively new, so those are the only statistics that we can look at right now until I've held them for a little bit longer. Looking at my tax-free savings account, we're up $77.08 over the day. And for the week, we're up $86.41. For the last month, we're up $202.30. For the last 3 months, we're down $90.92. So as you can see by my portfolio this week, things are up in the green, things are performing well. 2 weeks ago, there wasn't quite the same story. And in my last portfolio update, I talked about that, and you can watch that video right here. As far as deposits go within my tax-free savings account, we have $838.41 as of today. So that money is $500 that I regularly deposit into my account and invest every 2 weeks. And on top of that, and if you've heard me say this before, I do make some sacrifices over time to do things in order to enhance the amount of money that I can put into our investing account. And those examples, for instance, today, instead of going and spending $30 on a haircut, we actually have a set of clippers, and we do that at home. The other example that I've given is that we at work have to pay in order to park. So instead of doing that, I take that money, I put it in my investing account. Another example would be that maybe you just don't go out to a really fancy restaurant. Maybe you go to something that's a little bit cheaper, or you use some coupons. So today we have $838.41 to purchase some stocks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to top that up, finding a little bit more money in our budget in order to do some investing. Okay, and just like that, we have $1,013.41 to invest in some stocks. All right, so now I want to talk a little bit about some of the changes that I made in my RRSP. Now, this is the first time that I've talked about my RRSP in my videos because I was solely focusing on my TFSA. However, in Blossom Social, where I have a pro account, both of my accounts are linked, and therefore it shows everybody what is going on in both of those accounts. And so I decided to add them to my videos in order to talk about what I'm doing in that account. So the changes that I made this week was that I moved some money into some US funds by converting them from Canadian funds to US funds within the Wealthsimple app. Within your RRSP, when you hold US stocks, your dividends are not taxed because of an agreement between the US government and the Canadian government. All right, so this week what I did is I sold my VFV stock, which you might think is a bit crazy, but hear me out. By holding VFV in Canadian funds, in my RRSP, I get a 15% tax on the dividend. But by transferring it over to US funds and purchasing VOO, I no longer get the 15% tax on the dividend. So as you can see here, I hold 4 stocks of VOO, and I will no longer get that 15% tax on that dividend that I get. The other thing that I did, and this is going to be something that is more related to people like me at my age than it would be if you're, say, 20 or 30 years old and you're getting started investing. A lot of people try to chase yield in their dividends. That does have a place in people's portfolios. For instance, in my portfolio, I invested in a couple of stocks that will give me a higher yield return because I'm not putting any money into this particular account right now. I'm putting money into my TFSA instead. And so to help build this account, I'm looking for a little bit higher yield to then turn around and reinvest into the other stocks, in this case, VOO. Now, if you're 20 or 30 years old, your time horizon is completely different, and this type of investing may not be for you. I say may not because it's up to you to decide what you want to do when it comes to your investing. But if you're 20 or 30 years old, your time horizon is going to give you the opportunity to, say, purchase some more growth stocks instead of chasing yield in some of these other stocks. So in my US account, I bought QQQY, and I bought 42 shares of that. And I also bought Tesla, and I bought 30 shares of that. Both of those stocks have very high yield, and when I get my dividend returns, I'll then reinvest that into VOO looking for a bit more growth. All right, so today we're going to buy 5 shares of VFV. And we're going to buy 6 shares of BAM, which is Brookfield Asset Management. And we're going to buy 25 shares of Plaza REIT. We have $10.35 left, and I'm going to take that money and I'm going to invest it as a fractional buy into QQCF. All right, so let's jump over to passive, and we're going to have a look at all of my dividends for both my RRSP and my TFSA since I started investing in April. And if you don't know anything about passive, I did a video on that. You can watch that right here. So currently we have $26,427 in both the RRSP and the TFSA. Those are my net contributions. The net change on the account is $27,776. The investment growth in total is $1,349. And right now I'm getting an average of $51 in dividends per month. And currently to date, since April when I started investing, the total dividends in this account are $606. What's nice about passive is you can see in the bottom left part of the screen, it breaks down each of the stocks and how much dividends they returned. And just above that, you can see this chart. And when you click on the chart, it also breaks down month by month how many dividends you have. If you liked what you saw here today, hit the subscribe and the like. Turn on your bell notification so you can get more of my content. It helps get the channel out to other people just like you who want to get started investing in the stock market.